From your holy mountain, you hear my cry. You're my help in time of need. Oh, yeah, most high. Thou art a shield.
Let's try that again. Shalom, Mishpachah, shalom.
From your holy mountain, you hear my cry. You're my help in time of need. Oh, yeah, most high. Thou art a shield around me when my enemies rise against me. When I walk through the valley, I call upon your name, and thou art with me. Ve'ataya magin badi, thou art a shield around me. You are my strength and my shield, my heart trusts in you. My soul leaps for joy, with my lips I praise you. Thou art a shield around me when my enemies rise against me. When I walk through the valley, I call upon your name, and thou art with me. The tire, my body, thou art a shield around me. Yes, thou art a shield around me. You're my deliverer and the lifter of my head. Thou art a shield around me.
Hallelujah, Yahuwah.
You're my deliverer and the lifter of my head.
Yes, hallelujah, Yahuwah. Oh, you are so real, Abba Yahuwah. You are so real, Abba Yahuwah. You are so real, Abba Yahuwah. I want to thank all of you for being here. Joanne, thank you for sending that beautiful song by Tribe Song. That song is perfect for today. Everything that is happening right now is the way Abba Yahuwah wants it to be right now. And I just want to tell you all, if you don't believe that we are in the last days, all you got to do is see what's going on right now in this world. Abba Yahuwah, we come before you in the mighty name of Yahweh Yahushua HaMashiach. Abba, we know that you are real. We know that you exist, O Abba. We know that your day is coming soon, when you are going to crack that sky and you're going to allow all the inhabitants that are here upon this earth see your esteem as you descend upon this earth. Abba, you've shown me too many ways and too many times that you are true and that you are real. And I know the Mishpachah has had their own experiences with you as well, and how you have shown yourself to them. Abba, we ask that you would keep us in your hedge of protection. In the name of your Bane, Yahusha, all those who call upon your name, all those who seek your face, all those who follow your instructions, all those who have not denied that you came as Yahusha in the flesh. Abba, we give you thanks. We give you praise. We give you all the honor for opening up our eyes to your truth, for revealing your calendar once again to your people, for revealing your true name once again to your people, for you showing us once again the commandments that we are to keep to your people. Abba, we ask that you would speak to us today. And please do not deal with us according to our wickedness. Do not deal with us according to the thoughts that are in our mind. Do not deal with us because of our attitudes, O Abba, that we have. Abba, we ask for your favor. We ask for your mercy. We ask for your kindness. And in this time, we ask for your shalom. We palaw for all of our friends and our family members who don't see what we see, O Abba. And we do see the signs that are happening. You're speaking so clear and so loud to your people for us to be prepared, because you're coming soon for us. Help us to stay on the straight and narrow, Abba. Help us not to deviate. Help us to stay true to you as you have been true to us since our birth. Help us, O Abba, to walk on that straight and narrow path, that we may inherit everlasting life. In the name of your Bane, Yahusha, HaMashiach, the name that is above all names. For there is no other name that we can call upon that we may be saved. In Yahusha, we palaw. Hallelujah, Hallelujah, and Hallelujah, Amat. Rumamu Yahuwah. Everyone, I'm pretty sure everybody knows right now that's here what's going on between the United Snakes of America and its outpost called the State of Israel, and what they're doing to Iran. I don't know if this is what is going to catapult us into what we know as the Third World War, but I'm going to tell you something. We are living in some uncharted territory right now. And the way things are looking and the way this government is acting, it's as if they're just trying to keep everybody calm before the storm. We are overdue for the second seal, if this isn't it. The first seal happened in 2019. The second seal, some believe it started in 2022 between Russia and Ukraine. And it has got us to this point now. Whichever case it is, what I want to share with you all today before this came across my feed last night about what just transpired. It was midnight here in my location last night when breaking news came across. And so I turned on CNN and Fox. And sure enough, they preemptively attacked Iran. And so what we're going to read was something that Yahuwah had me look at. I was telling one of the Akis earlier this week, I don't know why Abba Yahuwah has me thinking so much, because I don't hear his voice. Again, I'd be lying to you if I'm saying I'm hearing his voice. It is just a feeling. An impression that's impressed upon my heart to look at certain things. And it's that same impression that I've felt most of my life that has brought me and has also brought you to this truth. So we're going to read. Let me put this off to the side here. From the Apocrypha, specifically Yobalim. Now, for those of you who don't know a little backstory about the book of Yobalim or Jubilees, this book was found amongst the parchments of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Now, mind you, the Ethiopians have had this in their script since they've had it. Who knows how far back that goes, but they've had it. It wasn't until it was unearthed over at the Dead Sea Scrolls that that have been Roman dominated are now having the privy to look upon these pages, to see the writings that should have been canonized with the other books. Because any one of you who've ever read the book of Jubilees, you know that it goes right in line with the Torah, with the Nabaim, the prophets, and the Katubim, the writings. It goes along with all of it. So I want to show you something from the very first chapter. And we're going to read this with what is going on right now, what's happening in this world right now, with politicians doing things they shouldn't be doing, with this market of flesh. You guys can read between the lines. That's happening. With the destroying of the family unit, and also what we're seeing that's going on between countries. All of this was told to us in Matthew chapter 24 by the Mashiach. He says that these certain things are going to happen prior to his second coming. We are very close, Mishpachah, to the second coming. And even before that, we are even closer to the gathering of the 144,000 household. We are so close that it could be literally any day now. and the 144 will be gone, and we will not know if you are one or if we're not one. Because what's going to happen next after that is going to turn the world upside down. It is going to be the time of great tribulation. And those of us who are here, and I know this sounds so Christian, but this is true. It's documented. It's a promise that has been given only to the 144,000, the first fruit. But the rest of us who are left behind, he's not done with us. Nor does that mean that you didn't make it. It's just that he's taking them first. And the rest of us are going to see him when he cracks that sky. And so I want to start reading here. Jubilees, chapter 1. Now there's some history that we're going to get into as we're reading this. We got to remember who is being spoken to. What we're about to read is the conversation that Masha, you may know him as Moses, had with the Creator on top of Mount Sinai. And this is where we pick it up. And it came to pass in the first year of the exodus of the children of Yasharal out of Mitzrayim, in the 3rd month, on the 16th day of the month, that Alua Elohim, the mighty one, spoke to Masha, saying, come up to me on the mount, and I will give you 2 tablets of stone of the law and of the commandment that I have written, that you may teach them. And Masha went up into the mount of Alua Elohim, and the esteem of Yahuwah fell on Mount Sinai, and a cloud overshadowed it 6 days. And he called to Masha on the 7th day. He called to Masha on the 7th day. That would be a Shabbat, on the 7th day. Very specific. Out of the midst of the cloud, and the appearance of the esteem of Yahuwah was like a flaming fire on top of the mount. And Masha was on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. And Alua Elohim, the mighty ones, taught him the earlier, notice this, the earlier and the latter, or the later history of the division of all the days of the Torah and of the testimony. Now, I don't know about some of you, but I used to wonder how in the world would Moses, Masha, be writing about himself in Deuteronomy when he was going to die on top of Mount Nebo. But I'm seeing here that Abba Yahuwah told him everything that he was to write in those first 5 books. From the very beginning of history, as it pertains to us, the earlier and the later history. For Abba Yahuwah, it's already history. We're living it out. And so it goes on and says, and he said, incline your heart to every word that I speak to you on this mountain, and write them in a book or a scroll. We know that as the Torah, in order that their generations may see how I have not forsaken them. He is now speaking specifically to the children of Yasharal. Historical. This is historical. He's saying, write them in a book in order that their generations, talking of us in the future, may see how I have not forsaken them for all the evil that they have wrought in transgressing the agreement that I have established between me and you for their generations to this day on Mount Sinai. This contract, Yahuwah is saying, I'm going to keep it. My promise is a promise. They're going to see when they read this book that he has not forsaken us. He has not forgotten about Yasharal. I know there's a teaching out there called Christianity that says that he is done with his people. Now it's spiritual Israel. He never made the promise to spiritual Israel. There is no such thing. Everyone must become Yasharal. Everyone must adhere to the agreement. Everyone must keep his commandments. If you don't do those things, and you don't believe in the one who was sent in the flesh and did what he did for us, you are lost. As we continue to read, you're going to see this history of what he is saying, that how he has not forsaken his people. The same thing that we see, we're going to come back to this, the same thing that we see in the letter to the Romans. What does it say here real quick? Romans chapter 11. Shaul says, I say then, has Yahuwah Elohim rejected his people? Let it not be. For I also am of Yasharal, says Shaul, of the seed of Abraham, says Shaul, of the tribe of Benjamin, says Shaul. He says, however, Yahuwah Elohim has not rejected his people, whom he knew beforehand. Or do you not know what the scripture, that's the Old Testament, not the New, what the scripture says of Eliyahu, of Elijah? And you can read about this story, how he stood bold in the name of Yahuwah to those who are bowing the knee to Baal. And for those of you who know who Baal is, ain't nothing new under the sun. Baal worship is still at its highest. And so many don't even know that they're doing it. But no, he has not forgotten his people. And this is what he's telling us. This is what we're reading. Hebrews chapter 1. I shall speak to you, Masha, on this mountain, and you are to write them in a book, in order that their generations may see how I have not forsaken them for all the evil that they have brought in transgressing the agreement. The agreement that he's about to make with them, that they don't even know yet. He's saying this to Masha even before Masha took it down the mountain to give it to the people. He's already telling them what's going to happen. They're going to transgress the agreement that he's going to establish between him and them for their generations this day on Mount Sinai. And thus it will come to pass. It will come to pass. That is a future tense. When all these things is going to come upon them, that they will recognize that I am more righteous than they in all their judgments and in all their actions. And they will recognize, notice this, it's talking about the children of Yasharal, DNA Yasharal. They will recognize that I have been truly with them. They're going to recognize that he's been with them this whole time. Those of you who have been called African Americans, blacks, Negroes, and all the other words that they like to use. This is happening. The recognition, recollecting, recognizing who you are, where you come from, the history that has been hidden from you, not because of the captors, but because of our ancestors. Notice what we read. And they will recognize that I have been truly with them, and you are to write for yourself all these words that I declare unto you this day, Masha. For I know their rebellion. I know their rebellion and their stiff neck. Before I bring them into the land of that I had swore to their fathers, to Abraham and to Yitzhak and to Jacob, saying, unto your seed will I give a land flowing with milk and honey, and they will eat and be satisfied. Here they put and. It should say a conjunction here as, but they will turn to strange or foreign deities. You see, here he's talking about his promise, what he's going to give them. Unto your seed I will give a land flowing with milk and honey, and they will eat and be satisfied. Stop right there. That's the end of that subject matter. Not an and, but they will turn to foreign mighty ones, other religions, to mighty ones that cannot deliver them from any of their tribulation. That's what's getting ready to come upon this earth right now. And this witness shall be heard for a witness against them. Against them. Because they didn't want to hear. Why? Verse 9 tells you why. For they will forget all my commandments, even all that I have commanded them, and they will walk after the Gentiles. They're going to walk after Christianity. They're going to walk after Islam. They're going to walk after Buddhism and Confucianism and Taoism and Yogaism and all the other isms that are out there, except obeying Yahuwah. They will walk after the Gentiles. They're going to walk after the customs of those that are around them. And look what is happening right now to the people. Some of you are recognizing. Some of you are waking up. But most of our people are still asleep and have no idea who they are. This is why Yahuwah is exposing the Yiddish people. Even those who don't know what we know, they don't know Yahuwah, but they know what's going on around them. They see the evidence of what these people who have been following Shaitan and are under the spell of Shaitan and doing the things for Shaitan, who they are. But here's the difference. They don't know how deep this thing goes. When all this comes upon them, they're going to scatter. They're going to flee. They're going to look for someone to corral them back in with an understanding, because Christianity ain't going to do it for you. Because they left the teachings of the true Messiah. And when you leave the true information, the true instructions, now you're going to listen to another shepherd, and they're going to lie to you. And you're going to believe their prophecies, how they twist scripture, how they twist the prophecies, and have you believe in certain people are somebody that they're not, and certain lands and these certain prophecies are happening because of these people, and they're not. And you believe after these things because you haven't shown yourself rightly dividing the word of truth so that you may be right before the eyes of Yahuwah. Nope, you want to follow someone else. You want to listen to someone else tell you what is going to come instead of listening to his spirit, to his Ruach, who said He will lead you. He will guide you. He will teach you into all things. But no, you want to continue to be led by these blind guides. And the darkness is coming. They're going to be stumbling in that dark. And as long as you're holding their hand, you're going to be stumbling right behind them, right into the lake of fire. It doesn't matter if you're DNA Yasharal or if you're a Gentile. The great news is the great news if you will accept it. You just don't talk about it. You got to be about it. You got to do some work. Some people don't like that four-letter word. They think it's a curse word. Well, WORK only works if you work it. James, who they misnamed from his book, his letter, Yaqub, the half-brother of the Messiah, whose mother is Mary and daddy is Joseph. That same Yaqub, James, in his letter says, faith without works is dead. Christians don't like to hear that. They're going to give you all kinds of different definitions of what work is. But look what it says here. Again, verse 9, for they will forget all, not some, they will forget all my commandments, even all that I have commanded them, and they will walk after the Gentiles. They are going to walk after the Gentiles. They're going to walk in the flesh and not according to the Ruach. It's that simple. You say you walking in the spirit, but you're not walking in the spirit if you don't know the truth. You can be a Christian walking in what you think is walking in the spirit all you want. You have a form of righteousness, but you deny the power. Who is the power? Yahusha is the power. All authority has been given unto him, he says. All authority. How can you say you know the Father when you're not following his instructions? And after their uncleanness, what do you think that means? Oh, I can eat all the ribs, these baby back ribs, all I want. I can enjoy all of this bacon that's slapping me in the face every morning. I can eat me some fish and chips, all this catfish. That's the uncleanness. And after their shame, and serve their mighty ones. He's telling the children of Yasharal in this book that is historical record that predates Roman civilization and Christianity altogether. It's saying that you are going to follow after these Gentiles, and not only are you going to follow these Gentiles, but you're going to take on their belief system. Who gave you Christianity? Who gave you Islam? Did Abraham give it to you? Did Isaac give it to us? What about Jacob? Maybe one of his 12 sons? Somebody from one of those 12 tribes? No. It came from Gentiles. And Gentiles gave it to us, the people of the book. And we'll do some preaching. Oh, we'll preach Jesus down. But we'll preach about that cross like nobody's business. We'll have that Christian church hopping in and jumping in and hopping and everything else all up in that church while we're over there speaking in the so-called heavenly language that they call tongues. We was in all that shenanigans, running all up and down the aisles. Women got one hand behind their lower back and they stomping in a circle. All of this was going on because we ended up serving their mighty ones. Do you not understand that the Creator says you are not to worship me as the Gentiles do? And yet we are worshiping him in the way that the Gentiles do? Can you show me anywhere from Genesis all the way to Revelation that we are to celebrate Easter? You know, the bunny and the eggs. Can you show me anywhere from Genesis to Revelation any of the holidays that we have been given by the Roman Catholic Church that they just have us just nonchalantly just follow and just do it for the children, and we participate? The daddy is back there grilling while the moms is getting all the cake and all the stuff ready, and making sure that the eggs are all hidden all in the bushes and had them all colored and all that, and spent all that time for the kids to go out there and find it and tell all the neighborhood kids, come, I'm gonna have an Easter egg hunt in my backyard. And we're just doing this, not even knowing where all this history comes from. We're serving their mighty ones. Notice what it says. And these will prove unto them an offense. Oh, but it's for the kids. You don't see the offense because you just brush it off and say, it's nothing. You're making a big deal out of it, Jimmy. It's nothing. Don't come over here talking that mess. If you don't want to enjoy, don't come here. But don't come over here messing up everybody else's feelings because you want to tell us that it's wrong. They don't see the offense. It's going to prove to be an offense to them, and a tribulation, and an affliction, and a snare. It's a trap. Your Christian belief is a trap. Just like what he told the apostle Shaul in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, that he was going to send a strong delusion to all those who would not believe the truth, to give them over to the lie, and that they would believe the lie so that they will not be saved. That's the trap. Christianity is the trap, with its cross, with its blonde hair, blue-eyed Messiah, with his Greco-Roman name, Jesus Christ. They changed everything. And they have fed you the spell, and you believe the spell because you love the spell. You have no one else to blame but yourself because you have loved the spell. It's time to take ownership. It's time to know that, oh, he did it or she did it. No, you did it. You wanted to believe it. So when somebody counteracts what you've been believing since your birth, you don't want to look at the history that's right in front of your face, that the Messiah wasn't Roman, that the belief of the Messiah didn't start in Rome, let alone in the Vatican, let alone with these people who calling themselves popes and cardinals and bishops, let alone who done changed all the calendar days and gave you their calendar with their high days and call it holiday. They've taken the eye of worship off the true creator and his true name and gave you a name and gave you commandments and gave you high days. And that's what you worship. You love the pomp and circumstances of the harlot of Rome. It's the Roman religion. It's the Roman Empire's Holy Roman Empire's religion called Christianity. In all of its denominations, none of you are escaping it unless you come out of it. That's what it means in Revelation 18, verse 4. If you don't know it, come out of her, my people. And all of her daughters are just as wicked. All the Protestants are just as wicked. They all tell you, You don't have to worry about the dietary laws. You know what? Forget what it is we can and can't eat. Okay, let's just put that to the side. If your parent tells you not to do something and you do it, are you being obedient or are you being disobedient? It's that simple. It's not trying to make way of why you should still be able to eat pork, but to understand that your parent told you not to do so. No questions asked. But no buts. Either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. And if you're not going to do it, you're going to have problems, affliction, tribulation. It's going to come upon you. It's coming on your way. And you won't be able to escape it. He says, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth, cursing him. There's going to be people cursing him while they're burning, gnashing their teeth. And many will perish, and they will be taken captive and will fall into the hands of the enemy, Shaitan. He's the enemy. The enemy has done this. He's the one who sowed all this poisonous plant called the tares, aka Christianity. Because they have forsaken my ordinances and my commandments and the festivals. Yep, that's exactly what we have done, his people. We have taken on the festivals of the Gentiles, all those pagan holidays. They were not for the people that he made an agreement with at Mount Sinai. We took that upon us because our ancestors taught it to us. And their ancestors taught it to them. And if it wasn't for his favor, we would still be teaching it to this very day, some of us. But some of your eyes have been open. And there are those that are in here right now who's hearing all this, their eyes are starting to open. The only eyes that shall be open is the eyes that are hungry and thirsty for the truth. If you're not looking for the truth, you're not going to find it because you have accepted the lie. When you can't be corrected, you become the old parable that you cannot pour new wine into old wineskin. You have a religious spirit. And when you have a religious spirit, you are considered old wineskin. And so when someone brings you something that is fresh, that is pure, that is clean, that is potent, your skin can't handle it. It bursts. Your mind busts. You can't handle that truth. And so you shut down. But for those of you, notice what is being said here. They have forsaken my ordinances and my commandments. That's what it means to serve their other mighty ones, because they're not doing his commandments. What institution teaches that you don't have to keep the commandments? And they say that's the Torah, like if they know what they're talking about, like they know Hebraic understanding, because they say the word Torah. We're not under the law. You're right, you're not under the law, but I am. And you're probably saying, what are you talking about? You see, there's an understanding that many Christians have not been taught, including myself when I used to be one. When Paul says that we are no longer under the law, if you continue to keep reading, you're going to notice there in Galatians that he's talking about this curse. There's a curse for being under the law. We were under the curse of the law, not the law itself. The curse of the law is when you're not following the law. When you don't follow the law, the curse comes upon you. And that curse is death. It's the same thing that happened to Adam in the garden. He was given one Torah, one law. Don't eat from that tree, Adam. When you break the law, or you don't keep the law and you break the law because you're not keeping the law, death comes upon you. That's being under the curse. And so this is exactly what happened to Adam. Cursed is the ground, Adam, because you heeded the voice of your wife and you ate of that tree that I told you not to eat from. Disobedient. It's the same thing with Christianity. It's a disobedient religion. It teaches you to be disobedient. It tells you don't keep Passover. It tells you don't keep Sabbath. It tells you don't keep any of the high days, but it tells you to keep Christmas. It tells you to keep Easter and Mother's Day and Father's Day and Valentine's Day and St. Patty's Day and 4th of July and Thanksgiving and Halloween. Oh, wow, what's so fun? Let's include the kids. Let's have them walk through the fire as well. And that's exactly what a lot of people are doing. They have their children walking through the fire. You're teaching them paganism. You're teaching them the express lane to the lake of fire. And unless Abba Yahuwah opens their mind, they're lost. Notice as we continue to read. They're going to forget his ordinances, his commandments, his festivals, his high days, his agreement that he made with them at Mount Sinai. They're going to stop keeping his Sabbaths. They're not going to even understand what his set apart place is, his Kadash place. Somebody say, oh, you got Holy crossed out. Yes, if you look into the word Holy, you'll see that it has to do with sun worship, halo, helio. It has to do with sun, the S-U-N. This is the reason why they have us doing a play on words for the son of the creator, S-O-N. That word son, soon. No, we pronounce it with a U, just like the S-U-N, because they're sun worshipers. And so they put the word sun in place of the word ban, the image. That I have set apart, his set apart place, his tabernacle, talking about the historical building, the first and second temple, that he has set apart for himself in their midst, his tabernacle, his dwelling, and his most set apart place, the most high place that he has set apart for himself in the midst of the land, and that I should set my name there or place my name there upon it, and that it should be dwell there, or he should dwell there. And they will make to themselves high places. They will build for themselves churches and synagogues and mosques and groves, doing all kinds of wizardry stuff and graven images, like St. Paul and St. Nicholas and all these other saint, or Buddha or Krishna with all the different hands and behind his back, Vishnu. And they will worship these things, each his own graven image. Maybe it's your motorcycle. Maybe it's your car sitting in the garage. Maybe it's your PlayStation that you love so much. Maybe it's some pornography that you have hidden. These things are idols. Remove them from before his face. And it causes them to go astray. It causes them to not be on the straight and narrow path. They've gone astray. They left the path. And they will offer their children to demons. That's exactly what we were talking about. You want to teach your kids all these pagan holidays, you're offering them to demons. All these little stuffed toys and all these other gimmicky toys that come in season all of a sudden. Oh, this is the toy to have for Christmas. These are idols. There's demons behind these idols. Some of them look like demons. They don't even hide it anymore. I forget the name of the itchy, scratchy, whatever that thing is, with this jagged teeth and crazy looking eyes. This thing is a demon. And to all the works of the error of their hearts. And I will send witnesses unto them. I will send prophets and preachers and teachers to them, and that I may witness against them. His word shall not return unto him void. It will go out and do what it was proposed to do, be it to the saving of the being or to the damnation of the soul of that being. It will witness against them, but they will not hear. Notice that. Some of you Christians who came and gone, and some of you that are still in here, you will not listen because you are married to the adulteress. You are playing the harlot. You're committing spiritual fornication. You're committing adultery. He says to come back to me. I am married to you, you backslider. All you have to do is come back. Accept the marriage vows. Accept the instructions. And if you accept the instructions, I promise you a home. That's what a husband does. A husband builds a castle for his princess, his bride, his woman, so that there she may be able to live out her life. She don't have to sweat. Everything's taken care of. After all, she's the princess. She's going to have servants waiting on her hand and foot. She ain't got to do nothing but just obey me because I love her. And since I love her, I don't want anything to happen to her. So all my instructions for her is for her benefit. But she don't look at it that way. She's a rebellious woman. I want my own career. I want my own house. I want all my lovers, all the ones that I find. I want all of them. So they will go err in their own hearts. And it's going to be a witness unto them, and they will not hear. And will slay the witnesses also. And they will persecute those who seek the law. Look what's happening today. History repeating itself. Those of us who are trying to keep the law, these people like to persecute us. Oh, you guys are legalists. You know, the law's been done away with. You know, Christ has nothing to do with you if you're following the law, by the way, if you know that. I didn't know if you knew that, but I thought I'd tell you that. You don't understand what Shaul was talking about when he says that if you are trying to get your righteousness through the law, then the Messiah has nothing to do with you. Because the only way you can be made righteous is by the blood. Because your transgressions must be cleansed. It must disappear for you to appear to be righteous. But the only way you can even be righteous is that you are showing that you are doing righteousness. So all those who are practicing righteousness, these are the ones who shall be called the children of the Most High. So they persecute those who are seeking the law, and they will abrogate, abolish, and change everything so as to work evil before my eyes. This is what we have done. Those of us that they call African Americans, Negroes, blacks. We have turned our back on our Creator, the one who made an agreement with our forefathers. We left it. and we followed other religions. And so he says, verse 13, and I shall hide my face from them. Why is he going to hide his face from us? Because we're not listening to him. Our ancestors weren't listening to him. They were being disobedient. They were being rebellious. And I shall deliver them into the hand of the Gentiles for captivity. There's your transatlantic slave trade. And they would be for a prey and for devouring. And I shall remove them from the midst of the land. What land is that? Jerusalem. And then if you follow what you understand by reading passages like Luke chapter 21, where he says that, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. We have been removed from the land. This is why we have been scattered. Now, all 12 tribes, not just the 10 tribes, all 12 tribes are lost. Not meaning lost to not knowing who they are. Oh, it's very evident to those of us who have eyes to see. Many of them don't know who they are, but it's evident. He says, and I shall remove them from the midst of the land, and I shall scatter them among the Gentiles, the nations. That's exactly what happened. And they will forget all my law. Exactly, because the only laws they know is Christianity and Islam. And all my commandments. Yep. Oh, no. Just like the Gentiles have told you, you believe the lie too. Oh, the commandments have been done away with. It's been nailed to the cross. And all my judgments. Yep. Forgot all his judgments as well. And will go astray to the new months, don't know the calendar, the Sabbaths, don't even know the calendar to begin with, but yet, even then, if you did know it, you still wouldn't keep it because you say you don't have to keep the Sabbath. And the festivals, so you're not even keeping any of the appointed times. You don't know the Jubilees. I'm still learning about the Jubilees. And ordinances. These are all the things that we know, that we're taught, things that we're not supposed to do, like dietary laws. Verse 15, and after this, after what? After their 400-year captivity, they will turn to me from among the Gentiles. Do you see that? They will turn with all of their heart and with all of their being and with all of their strength. And I shall gather them from among the Gentiles. This hasn't happened yet. This wasn't 1948, people. You got to remember, we're talking about a Messiah who has already came and gone and is about to come back. After this, they will turn to me from among the Gentiles. So, you want to believe that that was 1948? You don't understand Bible prophecy. This is talking about the people of the book, the African Americans that have been sold here, who were put in captivity, our ancestors, put on those slave ships, brought here, not because of the white man. That was just a vehicle that it was to be done. It was because of the disobedience of our ancestors. It was our ancestors that put us in this position. It was our ancestors that broke the covenant or the agreement. It was our ancestors that wanted to be like the Gentiles. And so it followed down the flow of the DNA, and we did the same thing. But because the Creator made a promise to Abraham, he's going to acknowledge his promise. And this is why he said what he said here. How I have not forsaken them. He is going to show the whole world that he made that promise to Abraham and he's going to keep it. And I showed you what it says in Romans chapter 11, verse 1, that the Creator is not done with his people and that he will continue to fulfill his promise. And so here in verse 15, it says, and after this, after their captivity, they, the children of Yasharal, will turn to me from among the Gentiles, from among the heathens, with all their heart and with all their being and with all their strength. And I shall gather them from among the Gentiles, from among these nations, and they will seek me, so that I shall be found of them. When they seek me with all their heart and with all their being. This is what's happening today. This is why so many of you are hearing the name Yahuwah, his name being restored to his people. Yahusha, the name of the Mashiach being restored to his people. The calendar being restored unto his people so we can keep the true Shabbat and the appointed times properly. All of this has been given to us in a short amount of time. And he's not done with us. He has more to show us. 16, and I shall disclose to them abounding shalom with righteousness, and I shall remove them the plant of uprightness with all my heart and with all my being, and they will be for a barakah, and not for a curse. And they will be the head and not the tail. Notice that. Excuse me, who are we talking about? Those who are last in society. Those who are just always on the bottom. Most of it is self-inflicted because of the curse. And I shall build my dwelling in their midst. Now it's talking about the 1,000-year period, the millennial reign. And I shall dwell with them, and I shall be their mighty one. Wait, let's back up. And I shall build my dwelling in their midst, and I shall dwell with them. Is this the Messiah? Is this the Son or is this the Father? Which one? I'm so confused. Which one is it? Oh, it's one and the same. He is one after all. That's right. I forgot. And I shall build my dwelling in their midst, and I shall dwell with them, and I shall be their mighty one. I shall be their mighty one, and they will be my people in truth and in righteousness. And I shall not forsake them nor fail them, for I am Yahuwah, their mighty one. And Masha fell on his face, and he palawed and said, O Yahuwah, my mighty one, do not forsake your people and your inheritance, so that they should wander in the error of their hearts. And do not deliver them into the hand of the enemies, the Gentiles. Notice who is calling their enemies, the Gentiles, lest they should rule over them and cause them to transgress against you. Let your mercy, O Yahuwah, be lifted up upon your people, and create in them an upright ruach. And let not the ruach of Balaam, the spirit of Satan, rule over them, to accuse them before you, and to ensnare them, to trap them from all the paths of righteousness. They fell off the ancient path, so that they may perish from before your face. That's the lake of fire. But they are your people and your inheritance, which that you have delivered with your great power from the hands of the Mizraim, the Egyptians, the world, the house of bondage. Create in them a clean heart and a Kadash Ruach and a set apart spirit. And let them not be ensnared in their transgressions. Let them not be trapped in their sins from now on until eternity. And Yahuwah said to Masha, I know their contrariness. They are contrary. They always go the opposite way. And their thoughts and their stubbornness. They will not be obedient until they confess their own transgression and the transgression of their fathers, their ancestors. After this, they will turn to me in all uprightness and with all their heart and with all their being. And I shall circumcise the foreskin of their heart and the foreskin of the heart of their seed. And I shall create in them a Kadash Ruach, a set apart spirit. And I shall cleanse them. Cleanse them how? By the blood. In them, he will going to give us the spirit. And I shall cleanse them by the blood so that they shall not turn away from me from that day unto eternity. That's the love of our Abba. That's the love of our Father. But what is it that we're supposed to do? What did he say here? And after this, they will turn to me from among the Gentiles. This is the awakening. All of you, Yashra'al DNA, and those of you who have been grafted in from amongst the Gentiles, who are no longer Gentiles, you are now Yashra'al. The awakening has come to us. He has opened up our eyes for this time. The things that are happening all around us, here at home, in our own personal life, our state, our government, outside this country, all of this is happening at this time. And you and I are privileged to live in this time right now. With all of its hurts, with all of the constraints, with all the limitations, it is a barakah to be alive right now. "24. And their beings will cleave to me, and to all my commandments." Notice that. "And to all my commandments," Christians. "And they will fulfill my commandments," Christians. "And I shall be their father, and they will be my children. And they will all be called the children of the living Alua Alahim. And every malak, every messenger, and every ruach, every spirit will know," yes, they will know, "that these are my children, and that I am their father in uprightness and righteousness, and that I love them." And you are to write down for yourself all these words which I declare unto you on this mountain, the first and the last, that shall come to pass in all the divisions of the days in the law, in the Torah, and in the testimony, the witness, and in the weeks and the Yobalim unto eternity. Notice this, until I descend and dwell with them throughout eternity. What? So who's coming down? Is it the Father or is it the Son? Because, I mean, after all, we've been reading all this stuff about him. He said he's going to be the Father. That's what he said, right? It clearly says that he's the Father and that we're going to be the children. And he says, and we will all be called his children of the living mighty one, right? And he says he's going to let all the spirit, all the heavenly hosts know that he loves us because we're his children. And he says, and I am their Father, right? But he says here, until I descend and dwell with them throughout eternity. What? So who's descending? Oh, that's right. The Father is the Son. The Son shall be called the everlasting Father. Isaiah 9:6. That's right. It makes sense now. Verse 27. And he said to the Malak of presence, write for Masha from the beginning of creation until my dwelling has been built among them, that is the children of Yasharal, for all eternity. And Yahuwah will appear to the eyes of all, and all will know that I am the mighty one of Yasharal, and the father of all the children of Yaqub, and the king on Mount Sion for all eternity. I thought the Messiah was the king. Upon the throne of Dawood, upon the throne of King David, he was going to place his king, right? Isn't that the Messiah? He's going to give his father's throne unto him. Man, well, this thing can really get you confused if you don't understand what you're reading. And Zion and Yahushalom will be set apart. And the messenger of the presence who went before the camp of Yasharal took the tablets of the divisions of the years from the time of the creation of the law and the testimony of the weeks and the jubilees according to the individual years, according to all the number of the jubilees, according to the individual years, from the day of the new creation when the heavens and the earth shall be renewed. Revelation chapter 21 and 22, and all their creation according to the powers of the Shama, and according to all the creation of the Arats, until the dwelling of Yahuwah shall be made in Yahushalom on Mount Zion, and all the luminaries shall be renewed from the healing, and for Shalom, and for Barakah, for all the elect of Yasharal. How come it doesn't say for all the elect of the Christians, or all the elect of the church, or all the elect of the New Testament saints? The elect of Yasharal, and that thus it may be from that day until all the days of the Arats, of the earth, of the earth. We are not dwelling in heaven, Christians. If you accepted what I just read, and that was just chapter 1 of the book of Jubilees, there's 49 more chapters filled with beautiful information that lines up with Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, all the way to Revelation. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Yafa. I see that Yahuwah is opening up the eyes of his people. There is so much that is going on right now in this world. And he's been putting it on my heart for quite some time now about the 144,000. Because their time is getting near. Started in Iran overnight. This is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. The word is very clear. That the second seal is going to be opened. And if it isn't opened, it is opened now. What I'm sharing, what I'm about to share, is not to frighten anyone. If you don't like to hear about prophecy and the things that come about because of prophecy, then you might want to change channels. I'm already letting you know right now. You might want to change channels. For those of you who don't want to stick your head in the sand and be like a lot of people that I know in my life who care not to know what's going on, because you know what? They're not one of those refugees. They're not one of those who are in war-torn areas. They're not one of those who are lack of food. They are not one of those who are homeless. No, those that I'm talking about in my life, they have all the comforts of Babylon. So no, they're not looking forward to the kingdom. They're not looking forward to Yahuwah cracking the sky. In fact, they want to see their grandchildren grow and their great-grandchildren's grandchildren's grow. If they could, they would just continue to live on this earth. And you know what? To all those other people who live in other countries, oh, well, out of sight, out of mind. It doesn't bother me. I live in the good old United Snakes of America. Do you understand the destruction that is about to happen to this country? We've been literally, physically living high off the hog, off the swine, off the pork, off the oink oink. Yahuwah is getting ready to deal with this country. It started in 2019, but Babylon is about to fall. And we're all going to witness it. I look forward to the day. A lot of people, they're so gung-ho about this country. But it's because this country was made for somebody like them. You see, a lot of us, we have to sell out to be part of this country. And many of us don't want to sell out. And some of you who are of this country, whose background is of the people, the expansionists, who took land that was not theirs because they did it. Even if you're from that blood, Yahuwah can save you. All it takes is your obedience. That's the great news. Anyone who wishes to keep his Sabbaths and his commandments and has the testimony of what the Messiah has done for them when he was here, these have everlasting life. But the rest who want to intermingle this truth with their customs and doctrines and traditions of men, the Creator says, if you take away anything from this book or add anything to this book, pretty much saying anything to my words, anything to my instructions, you add or take away from that, you replace it, what he means by adding it, you replaced my name, you added another one. You replaced my commandments, you added another one. You replaced my appointed days, you added some other ones. You changed my image, you replaced my image, you added another one. You replaced the people of the book, and you added another one. You don't think Yahuwah is not going to deal with you? This is why he's forewarning us to come out of her, my people. You see, the problem is most people, just like you see it, and it's not the movies are just portraying what you see in real life. Art is imitating life. You see somebody standing on the corner. They hit a corner in a street like New York, down in Manhattan. Everybody's running the opposite direction from the direction that they're walking on that sidewalk, and they still want to hit the corner to see what's going on. Soon as you hit the corner, here comes the tidal wave. Instead of turning around and fleeing, you decided, well, it ain't going to hurt me. I'm special. Nothing's going to happen to me. And you hit that corner. And as soon as you hit that corner, smack in the face. Too late. But it's not too late for you. That's the favor. That's the favor of our Creator. He's saying you don't need to get smacked in the face when it's too late. He's saying today, while it's still called today, if my people will humble themselves, first you got to humble yourself, Christians. And after you humble yourself, then you got to seek his face. But some of you don't want to seek his face because the face you're already seeking, that's the one you like. The one that you've been looking at and been seeking, that's the mask. That's the mask. Satan is the one who masquerades. That's the mask. So for those of you, my Akis, my Kodis, those that are the remnant, those you know who Abba is, those of you who know that he came in the flesh, those of you who know that you are to keep his commandments, those of you who know to keep his appointed times, those of you who know the Mashiach. Your time is coming soon. You're getting ready to get out of here. We need to stay strong. We need to do what Abba Yahuwah told us to do. I'm about to say something right now that many of you don't even know. I didn't say everybody don't know. Many of you don't know. Satan is about to be unleashed on this earth. And when he appears, this is the one that they're going to believe is their Messiah. I don't know who it is. I don't know what he's going to look like. All I know is when he does come, if it was possible, even the very elect could be deceived. That's how serious this second coming fake is going to be. You got to remember, Satan reads this book. We act like it's cloaked to him, like he can't see. No, he knows this scripture. He was quoting it, if you don't recall, when our own Messiah was out in the wilderness being tried by Satan for 40 days and 40 nights. What was Satan doing? He was coming to him with scripture. And then what did the Messiah say? You're misquoting scripture, for it is written. Here's the actual interpretation. Satan. You see, Satan likes to twist scripture. And that's what he's doing. He's twisting the same scripture that we read that's going to give us life. It's the same scripture that's going to cause others to receive the lake of fire. Because they misused it. They abused it. They misinterpreted it. Revelation chapter 6, verse 1. And I saw when the Lamb, that is metaphorically speaking, our Messiah, opened one of the seals, and I heard one of the four living beings saying like a sound of thunder, come and see. Telling Yohanan, the Revelator, come and see. Wherever Yohanan was when he was taken up into the throne room, into heaven, he had to come towards this messenger to be able to see it from his vantage point. Come and see. We don't know. We're not told what it is that he had to look in or if he had to gaze a certain direction, but he had to come and he had to see. And he said, when he looked, he saw a white horse, and he who sat on it holding a bow, and a crown was given to him. And he went out overcoming to overcome. Some of your translation would say he went out conquering to conquer. Without doing the whole study, this here is toxin. The word bow here means toxin, a poisonous substance. And crown, corona, was given to him. A crown was given to this virus, hence the coronavirus. And this coronavirus did cause an epidemic. It went out and it was conquering over to conquer. People died. Many people died, and people are still dying from the effects of it and from the things that they were giving them, saying that it was going to help them with the effects of it. And when he opened the second seal, I heard the second living being say, "Come and see." So once again, Yohanan, according to what we're reading here, he had to come to the vantage point of this second messenger to see this second seal when it was broken. What happened? What was the result of this symbolic fracturing of this seal? What would occur? What event would cause it to happen and transpire upon the earth? He says another horse. The first one was a white one. Now it's a fiery red one. It went out. And it was given to the one who sat on it to take shalom from the earth, and that they should slay one another. And a great sword, a great weapon was given to him, to the writer. I believe this is what we're seeing right now. Notice that it says that peace is taken from the earth, not just from a region. People are like, oh, it's already a war. Look, Russia and Ukraine. Yeah, that's Russia and Ukraine. Yeah, well, Pakistan and Afghanistan. Yeah, that's Pakistan, Afghanistan. Yeah, like what's going on over at the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. Yeah, that's over there. We're talking about the entire world, the earth. Peace is taken from the entire earth. This is a world war. This second seal is talking of a world war. Notice from the first seal, 2019, COVID-19, C19, 2019, hence why it was given the number 19, to the second seal being broken. Some people say it's February of 2022, when Ukraine and Russia went at it, until this very moment. I could agree with that. I see the same as well. But it hasn't engulfed the entire world yet, which means that we haven't seen the culmination of this. This is just the beginning. This is going to spark up the entire earth. Countries are going to be choosing sides, just like it was in the First and the Second World War. From all the estimates of people who are strategists, they're saying that this war, once it seriously gets kicking, is not going to last more than 2 weeks. At the end of those 2 weeks, according to what we're reading here, a quarter of the Earth's population is going to be extinct. And it's going to be from this issue that the mark of the beast is going to be enacted. After this world war, the second seal, notice the third seal. And when he opened the third seal, I heard the third living being say, "Come and see." And I looked and saw a black horse, and he who sat on it holding a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four living beings saying, a measure of wheat for a denarius, and 3 measures of barley for a denarius. And do not harm the oil and the wine. So this third seal, once it's broken, once it's cracked, Yohanan says he sees a black horse, and he who sat on it was holding a pair of scales. This is talking about a famine, the black horse, the cost of food, a measure of wheat for a denarius. That is a whole day's wage, an average day of wage, or 3 measures of barley for all day's wage. And if you have a big family, you know that ain't going too far. Why is food going to be scarce? Why is there going to be a famine? Because of the second seal. The second seal is going to contaminate a lot of land. A lot of soil is going to be uninhabitable. Some of it's going to be radioactive. Some of it's going to be contaminated with other foreign substances, maybe chemical. But the result is you're going to have to get rations. You're going to have to get an identity chip. It's the only way you're going to get what you got coming to you. What better way to mark every man, woman, and child than the result of a war, and food is scarce and resources are scarce. And now they want to give everyone their portion, their ration card, if you will. And do not harm the oil and the wine. Why are these two symbolically preserved? What does the oil represent? What does the wine represent? Give us your oil. We have none. Why don't you go and buy from those who are selling? And so the 5 foolish virgins went to go get oil. And while they went to go buy oil, the bridegroom came and snatched up the 5 wise virgins who had oils in their receptacles. They were ready when the bridegroom came. The wine, the first fruit. The 144,000 is out of here. Do not harm the oil and the wine. Metaphorical speech. Chapter 7. And after this I saw 4 messengers standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another messenger coming from the rising of the sun, that is from the east, holding the seal of the living Alua Alahim, the mighty of mighty ones. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 messengers, to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to harm the earth and the sea, saying, do not harm the earth, nor the sea, nor the trees, until we have sealed the servants of our Alua Alahim upon their foreheads. And do not harm the oil and the wine. This is the 144,000. And when he opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th living being saying, come and see. And I looked and saw a green horse, a pale horse in some of your translations, and he who sat on it had a name, Death, and Sheol followed with him. And authority or power was given to them over 1/4 of the Arats to unalive with sword, with hunger, with death or diseases, and by the beasts of the earth. This is by the politicians. It's not talking about lions, tigers, and bears. It's talking about politicians. Remember, by the beasts, plural, of the earth. Verse 1, Revelation, and I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast coming up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads the names of blasphemy. This is talking about what the beasts are. One of the beasts is this one that came out of the sea. And then you have another one here, another beast coming up out of the earth. And then there are other beasts, the ones that represent the 10 horns. They're the other beasts. They're the other politicians, if you will, the other elitists, if you will, the sovereigns of the earth. Like it says here, the waters which you saw where the whore, the harlot sits. This is Christendom, the Christian church, where she sits. There are peoples, crowds, nations, and languages. This is talking about how she has rulership over many countries of many different nationalities of many languages. And the 10 horns which you saw on the beast, these shall hate the whore, these shall hate Christianity and lay her waste and naked. They're going to destroy the Vatican. Did you not know this? It's already pre-written. And they're going to eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For Alua Alahim, who does this? He did give it into their hearts to do his mind, to do his will. For them to be of one mind, New World Order, and to give their reign to the beast, to give their power to the anti-Messiah. He's just going to destroy. He doesn't need Christianity anymore. So he destroys it. Now all worship is to him, until the words of Alua Alahim shall be accomplished. And the woman, the Catholic Church, whom you saw, is that great city, having sovereignty over the sovereigns, the kings of the earth. This is why all the westernized politicians, be it prime ministers, presidents, or any other person of authority of a government that has received its power from Rome, they come to the Vatican, to St. Peter's Basilica, and they kiss the ring of the sitting Pope. It is to show that they are under servitude to the dome, to the cap, to the capital. And so when we go back here to Revelation chapter 6, how the 4 quarters of the earth, a quarter of the earth shall be destroyed, the population shall be destroyed. 1/4 of the earth to be unalive with sword, with hunger, and with death, and by the beasts of the earth. All this right here, 1/4 of the earth, rounded numbers, 8 billion right now, 2 billion will be taken out. 2 billion will be taken out. It is from this that we know that we are deep into the Great Tribulation. How do we know that? Because notice the next seal, the 5th seal. And when he opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the beings, yours would say souls, of those who have been slain, who have been killed or murdered for the word of Alua Alahim. That is the Old Testament, the word of Alua Alahim. And for the witness, the testimony which they held. Well, here it doesn't tell you what the testimony is yet, but it tells you what the testimony is later. Because you see, Revelation is giving us little information, little by little, bit by bit, so that we don't chew so much to where somebody says, oh man, that was so much information, because it can be overwhelming. But if you look here in Revelation chapter 12, verse 17, it tells you what they were possessing. And he, that is Satan, verse 17, went to fight, make war with the remnant of her, the 144,000 seed, that is this clean woman, not the woman that we just read about, the harlot, the whore. No, this is the bride. This is the one that made herself ready for the bridegroom. Those guarding the commandments of Alua Elohim, that is the word of Elohim, and possessing the witness, that is the testimony of Yahusha, the Messiah. So when you were reading this here with me about why they were unalive, why they were murdered, they were keeping the word of Elohim and for the witness, that's the testimony of the Messiah, which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, "How long, O Master, set apart and true, until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth?" Notice this. This is why we are told not to eat any animal with the blood still in it. I know many of you like to eat your steak medium well or medium rare or rare, but you are not to partake of the blood because the life is in the blood. Here we see they're asking, when are you going to avenge our blood? Or another way of saying is, when are you going to avenge our life? Because life is in the blood. When are you going to avenge our life on those who dwell on the earth? When are you going to take revenge on those that did what they did to your children, Daddy? Abba, when are you going to fight on our behalf? You said that revenge is yours. You're going to repay. This is the great tribulation. Our blood is going to be crying out just like Abel's when he was murdered by his own brother. And many of us are going to be murdered by our own kinfolks. I know somebody who don't have the mark. Oh, okay. Did you say that I can get 70,000 credits if I turn somebody in who doesn't have the mark? Yes, you'll get 70,000 credits. My brother doesn't have the mark. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's one of those weirdos. I think he's in a cult. He calls God Yahoo or something like that. And he doesn't have the mark. He says that the mark is the mark of the beast. And it's 666. So yeah. Even the Messiah says that that's what's going to happen. If you line this up with what we just read with Matthew 24, let me show you something. I'm going to leave that passage open that I have in the scriptures, and I'm going to go here to the KJV. We're going to go to Matthew 24. Matthew 24, what does this say here? Verse 3 of Matthew 24, and he sat upon the mountain of Olives, or the Mount of Olives, and his disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when shall these things be?" That's the first question. "And what shall be the sign of your coming?" That's the second question. "And of the end of the world?" That's the third question. And the Messiah, Yahusha, answered and said unto them, "Take heed that no one deceives you." That's the very first warning. It's the very first thing. That no one deceive you. Why? Because the battle starts in the mind. If someone has deceived you, it's because they took over your thoughts of your mind to allow you to be tricked, to allow yourself to succumb to a lie. Take heed that no one deceives you, for many shall come in my name, saying, "I am the Messiah," and shall deceive many. This can be taken in a slew of ways, depending on how, or maybe the Messiah meant by many different ways, because we know that his word has many different facets to it. So one of the ways this can be interpreted is he's saying that many shall come in my character. Many will come as if they are anointed. That's what they say the word Christ means, right? Christ means anointed. Many of them say, oh, we have my pastor is so anointed. He has an anointed ministry. Oh, he has an anointing on him. Many shall come in my character, saying that I am anointed. I have an anointing, and they shall deceive many. And you shall hear of wars and rumor of wars, just like what we're hearing right now. They were rumors of wars for a minute, for a long time. And now the war is here. See that you are not troubled. See that you are not troubled. Do not allow what you're seeing on the news trouble you. Because if you are fearful, that means you don't know your creator. That means you don't understand what he has you and how he's got you. And that nothing is going to harm you unless he wants it to harm you. He's got your best interest at heart, literally. Let these crazy ones do what they're going to do. They have to fulfill this book. They have to fulfill it. These are signs. He's trying to wake up his people to say, wake up. I told you these things before they were going to happen. I'm not telling you this like so you can follow all these stupid prophecies. Oh, Nostradamus this and Sleepy Edgar Casey this and the sleeping that and Celeste this and talking about who's a man and who's not a man and who's a woman and who's not a woman. Forget all of that. Let them deal with that nonsense. Let us build the character of who we're supposed to be. After all, we're supposed to be kings and priests. How is he going to allow you to rule when you still acting like the heathen? He says that he is going to judge the intent of our hearts and our thoughts. You ain't getting around from someone who knows you better than you know yourself. He knows why you're doing what you're doing, even before you do it. He says, I know what you're going to ask before you even ask it. So how would he not know it if he knows all of your thoughts? He knows everything about you before you even came into existence. And we're talking about everybody, all at the same time. He's all knowing, all powerful. And so he says that, but the end is not yet. These things have to come to pass. We have to see this. We have to witness what's going on right now. But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. This right here, this passage, nation rise against nation, that is ethnic group rising against ethnic group. The word nation is ethnos. It's where we get the word ethnic. So you see it right now. The Proud Boys, and you got the Black Boys. You got the Black Panthers, and you got the white supremacists. You got Black Lives Matter, and you got White Power Matters. All of this is happening. All of this is happening, and they want us to make and choose sides. You got Christian Zionism, and you got the Hebrew Israelites. And then they're going to put the word black in front of that just so you understand the black Hebrew Israelites. That's nation against nation, ethnic group against ethnic group. And then when it says kingdom against kingdom, this is a nation against a nation, or an empire against an empire, a government against another government. And there shall be famines. That's the second seal. Pestilence. That's the first seal, diseases. Earthquakes in diverse places. All these is the beginning of sorrows. And then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted. That's the fifth seal. How long, O Abba? How long until you avenge us, our blood, upon those who are dwelling upon the earth? They shall deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. This is the fifth seal. This is the great tribulation. And you shall be hated of all nations, all ethnic groups for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. That's us right there. They're going to be turning us in. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. Those people don't know what they're talking about, telling you to keep the commandments. No. Follow this guy, Lord Matria. Here he is. You knew him as Jesus. Right here in the flesh. Many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. And because lawlessness, they put the word iniquity here, but because of lawlessness shall abound, meaning that nobody is pretty much following the Torah except for a few people, the love of many shall grow cold. This is what happens when people don't have at least know the 6th of the 10 commandments on how to love your neighbor as yourself. We wouldn't have kids unaliving each other going around. When I was a little kid, ain't nobody walking up into a school shooting the teachers and everybody else. That was not even handled like that. None of that was happening. And we had guns back in those days. That could have happened. But we weren't raised like that. You got a problem with somebody, it's the fisticuffs. And if you knew something, then maybe you might throw a leg or two. Put somebody in a chokehold until they tap out. Or they just fall out and faint. But you ain't going around just shooting up everybody because you just hate the world. Because they got you on some psych meds. Because little Johnny couldn't sit still. So they give him some kind of crazy thing to take. And it's altering his mind or her mind. And got them thinking that they're this and they're not that. And they think that they're that, but they're not this. This is what the love of the grow cold is. They have no love. Because they don't have the commandment. They don't even have that much in them. Just that little bit of Yahuwah's teaching in them. That's enough to stop them from doing what they're doing. But nope, they don't want to teach them that. They'd rather teach them how to be cross-dressers. They'd rather teach them how they can put on big old eyelashes and put on these puffy lips and all this stuff and have girls looking like prostitutes, and they're only in 6th grade. And got the boys thinking that they all men already and they can't even do anything. So they going around talking crazy and walk around with wife beater shirts on, going to school and thinking that's cool. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. We got to endure. There is no one saved, always saved. We are to endure until the end. There is no one saved, always saved. Nowhere in that sentence. Nowhere in that sentence. And this great news of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all the nations. And then shall the end come. When I was in Christianity, I thought that's what that was talking about. I thought it was the Christian doctrine. Once the Christian doctrine has been shared to all the nations on the earth, then the end shall come. Boy, was I wrong. You see, Christianity's been around for almost 2,000 years, and it has been preached for almost 2,000 years to every country. There is not a country on this earth that does not know Christianity. If they don't have it, they know about it. Okay? So it's not talking about the Christian doctrine. So what other great news is it talking about? The great news is that others who are not Israel can become Israel so that they too can partake of the contract that was given to Israel, and they too will be accepted as one born as a native born. This is the great news that was to be taught and to be shared to all the creatures on the earth, all the nations, all the ethnic groups on the earth. You too now can be part of this agreement that was given to Abraham and to his seed. That's the great news. Not Christianity. Christianity is the great lie. It's the great deception. She has more souls than any other religion on the earth. I thank Abba Yahuwah, the creator of heaven and earth, for allowing us to come together and congregate like this today. Tomorrow is our Sabbath. Some of you are probably like, Sabbath? I thought Sabbath was on the SAT day. Isn't it right now? No, it's not. That is the false calendar with the false weeks, the false days of the weeks. Our Creator gave us the true calendar. It's been restored to us. And it's so beautiful that He is restoring these things to this one generation. The generation that sees all these things taking place shall not pass away until all these things shall be fulfilled. Many people have read those passages in Matthew chapter 24, Mark chapter 13, Luke chapter 21, also known as the Olivet Discourse. And they looked at it as one or two ways. Either it was talking about that generation that He was speaking to, but it couldn't be because the disciples knew the Messiah, so they definitely couldn't have been deceived. They seen His face. They know what He looks like. They walked with Him after all for 3.5 years. So it can't be speaking about them because they all witnessed Him. Many came to believe in Him. So it couldn't have been that generation. What generation will be the ones that He would say, beware and do not be deceived? For many shall come in my name. He can't be saying that to the 12 disciples. The 12 disciples know His name. So it can't be that generation is what I'm saying. The generation is now. He's speaking of a particular generation that would witness these things start to transpire. We are seeing, let me show you this. Let's go to Luke chapter 21, verse 24. We are seeing prophecy, like I'm about to show you right now, literally coming up off the page. Look at this. What does it say here? Verse 24. This is Luke chapter 21, verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, they, meaning DNA Israel, Yasharal, and shall be led away captive into all nations. Okay, that right there, again, transatlantic slave trade. And Jerusalem, the city known as Jerusalem, shall be, not maybe, it will be trodden down or controlled by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled or complete. Now he brings this up right before he talks about His second return. He says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, distress of nations and with perplexity, the sea and waves roaring, what we would probably call hurricanes and typhoons and what's the other one they use? Hurricanes, typhoons, and cyclones. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. This is going to be what many of us are going to be seeing falling out of the sky. And then they shall see the Son of Adam coming in a cloud with the power and great esteem. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draws near. So he's saying, not to this very point, he's talking about when you see these things begin to come to pass. He's talking about all this stuff that he was talking about here earlier, when there's going to be great earthquakes. Remember we was talking about this here? Let me back it up. But when you hear of wars and commotions or rumors of wars, don't be terrified, for these things must come first, come to pass, but then the end is not yet. Okay. And he says how nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, great earthquakes in various places, and famines and pestilences and fear of sights and great signs that are be coming down from the heavens. All of this is the beginning. He says, when you see these things begin to happen, and when these things begin to come to pass or begin to start to take place, then look up. This is what we're seeing happening right now. It's beginning to happen. But what he said was going to happen, he says that Jerusalem shall be trodden down by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Notice that it's very clear who's going to be there. It doesn't say the Jews. It doesn't say Israelites. It says the Gentiles are going to be ruling Jerusalem. Gentiles. That is non-believers. And specifically, it's talking about a race of people. Let me show you. Remember the word Gentiles. Remember, here it is again, verse 24. Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Gentiles, Gentiles. Remember Gentiles. Let's go to Genesis. Let's go to the table of nations, as like they call it, in Genesis chapter 10. Remember Gentiles, right? Gentiles. Okay, Gentiles. Blow this up a little bit. Oh boy, they telling on themselves today. Genesis chapter 10, verse 1. Now these are the generations of the sons, all three sons of Noah: Shem, Ham, and Japheth, or Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. So generations of children were born after the flood to them. So he's going to start off with Japheth, the sons of Japheth. His firstborn is Gomer and Magog, or Magog, Madai, Jalvan, Tubal, Meshach, Tiras. And then it says, and the sons of Gomer, which is Japheth's firstborn, now it's going to the third generation. So Japheth would have been the first, Gomer, his son, be the second. And now we're about to read about his generation, or those that proceed from him. So this is the third generation. But notice what it says about the sons of Gomer: Ashkenaz, Riptath, Togarmah, the sons of Javan, Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, Dudadim, or Dodanim. By these were the isles, or the islands of the Gentiles, divided in their lands, everyone after his language, after their families and their nation or ethnicity. And then it goes into the sons of Ham. And we know that the Hamites are dark. Okay. This is talking about the Europeans. But I want to draw your attention to Ashkenaz. You ever heard of an Ashkenazi Jew? I'm sure you've been hearing about all these people in social media, from Tucker Carlson to Candace Owens to Kanye West, just to name a few, who are talking about these people who are calling themselves Jews, and they are not. They call themselves, notice, they call themselves Ashkenaz. But Ashkenaz doesn't come from the Shemites. It comes from the Japhites. Let's look at this again. The sons of Japheth. These are the European progeny, okay? Japheth. His firstborn is Gomer. Sons of Gomer. Ashkenaz. So Ashkenaz is a Japhite. He is not a Shemite. So they can't be going around saying every time you say something about the Israelites, or I should say the Israelis, let me make that clear, to these Jewish people, and you say something about them, these Ashkenazi Jews, and they say, you're an anti-Semite. No, that would be anti-Jephite for you because you're not a Shemite. But this is how they got us twisted. This is how they got us looking at things the opposite. It says in the word that there will come a time when they would tell you that righteousness is evil and evil is righteousness, and that dark is black. I mean, dark is light and light is dark. This is exactly what they did. They're telling us that dark is light and light is dark. You can look it up in a Google search, put in Ashkenaz Jew, and see what comes up. You're going to see what you've always thought was a Jew, but they're not Jews. They're Jewish. Like I wish I was a Jew. Kinda-ish. It's not quite 3 o'clock, it's 3 o'clock-ish. This is the stuff that they're putting in front of our face. So why am I bringing this up about what we just read in Luke chapter 21, verse 24? Because it says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, again, talking about the true Israelites, and shall be led away captive into all the nations. That's exactly what happened. History tells us this. And Jerusalem, the outcome, because these people, the Israelites, have been scattered from their land. So now Jerusalem shall be taken over by the Gentiles, by the Europeans. That's exactly who's running it until the times of the Europeans are fulfilled. This is their domain time now. There was a time when it was the Egyptians, the Hamites had control of the world. There was a time when the Babylonians had it. That was the Shemites' time of the world. But now it's time for the Japhites' time now to run the world. Western civilization, the expansionists. That's what Japhite means. Those who expand, the expansionists. And so we're seeing all of this happening right now that's going on in the Middle East because they must fulfill the book. We are so close. We are so close. Again, the 144,000 is going to be out of here very soon. They have been promised that they shall be kept from the hour of trial that shall come upon the whole world to test those who dwell upon the earth. The evangelical Christians have taken that passage and have taken it upon themselves to believe in this so-called pre-tribulation rapture that doesn't speak of any Gentiles having this agreement with the Messiah, claiming that they shall be taken. Number one, they deny his name. And that's one of the prerequisites to even be part of the assembly called Philadelphia. Those who have love for their brethren, hence Philadelphia, brotherly love. They don't keep his commandments. And they don't know his name. Let me show you. Let's go to Revelation chapter 3. What they know is the Roman name. They know the Greek name, but they don't know his Hebrew name. Revelation chapter 3, verse 8. I know your works, says the Messiah. Behold, I have set before you an open door. No one can shut it. For you have a little strength and have kept my word, that would be the commandments, and have not denied my name. Now, anybody with a little bit of nonsense or 2 cents would know that his name was in Jesus when he came here in the flesh. No one in first century Palestine was going around calling the Messiah Jesus. No one. They didn't even say it without the pronunciation of the letter J. They didn't even call him Isis. They didn't even call him Jesus. They didn't call him Isa. Nobody was calling him Yeshu. Nobody was calling him Yeshua. Nobody was calling him Yahushua. Nobody was calling him Yahshua. They knew him as Yahusha. I am is salvation. Yahusha. Not Joshua. Not Yahshua. Yahusha. So to be one of the 144,000, you must know the name. And not only do you know the name, you don't deny that that's his name, which means that you evoke the name. You use the name. You know the name. So it goes on and says here, because you have kept the word of my patience, my endurance, I also will keep you from the hour of temptation or the hour of trial that shall come upon all the world, not just certain regions, upon all the world. That trying time is the mark. You can't buy or sell unless you have this mark. It is going to be a trying time for the world. Either you're going to be self-sufficient or you're going to bow down to Caesar. And if you don't bow down to Caesar and you're not self-sufficient, you're going to die. You're going to die. But he who endures to the end shall be saved. Death is a byproduct, Ms. Paka family, of walking in this truth. If you are afraid of death, you might succumb to the system because that's what they're going to use against you. And this is why the Messiah says, fear not those who can only kill the body, but cannot kill the body and the soul. Fear him who can do both. He's letting you know, if you're going to walk this walk out, part of this walk is there's a great chance you just might get unalived. Sorry that I'm chewing in y'all's ear. Had to eat something. For those of you that I believe is the 144,000, some of you have been hearing me talk about how I believe that Yahuwah is pruning his natural tree. And I've been seeing it. And he is pruning us. Yahuwah is revealing not only to ourselves, but to others, those who are his. And there might be those who are not his yet, who are in our midst. They're with us, but yet they're not truly of us yet. But when they do become one of us, it's going to be all worth it. So even though you may not see or know all that it is that we need to know, because we don't all know everything. None of us do. But there are certain things that we are to know. It's just the foundational things that we are to know. And this is what's separating the cream from the crop. We want to be the cream. We want to be on the top. We want to be the first fruit. We're palaling. We're praying to Abba Yahuwah that we may be counted worthy to be one of the first fruits, which is the 144,000. Just like it says here back in Luke. Let me take you back there. Notice what it says here in Luke chapter 21. Verse 36. Watch you therefore, just like what we're seeing here in this world right now. We're watching. That's why he gives us these prophecies. He doesn't tell us prophecy if we're not going to use the prophecy to look for those prophecies. That's why he gives us prophecy. Too many people don't want to look into the prophecy. They read about the prophecy and oh, it's so mysterious. Who can understand the prophecies? It's so vague. It can be this, it could be that. They were thinking it was in their time and it's not our time and all that. But prophecy, to understand prophecy, is a gift. And those who yearn for that gift, Yahuwah is going to give it to you. He's going to give you what you're asking so that you understand a little bit more of the prophecy. So he tells us to watch, therefore, and palal, pray. Pray what? Always, that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the image of Adam, that is the Messiah. And in that time, in the day time, he was teaching in the temple, and at night he went out and dwelt in the mountain that is called the Mount of Olives. And all the people came early in the Bacor to him in the temple for to hear him. This is the 144,000, that you may be counted worthy to escape. The same passage that we just read in Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. Same thing, same people. And 3:10, because you have kept the word of my patience, or endurance, some of your translations, I also will keep you from the hour of temptation or trial, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Pray always that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, to stand before the Son of Adam. It's speaking of the same time. It's saying, pray that you will escape these things. Pray that you will not be here. Yeah? This is what we need to be pushing for. This is what we all need to be pushing for. This is what you're supposed to be living for the Messiah, to be one of the first fruit. It's not going to be long now. I just don't know exactly that day, but it ain't going to be long. And the 144,000, they out of here. Yep. They're going to be out of here. Carmen, right here, I'm reading from Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. That's where I was at. All right. So I want to thank you all who came in to listen and to allow me to share what was on my heart as I'm seeing what is transpiring here right now on this earth, and how this second seal seems to have taken us to another level. It feels so weird being in a country where everything just kind of seems normal, because it's not normal, but it kind of seems normal. And then, on the other side, things are happening that have to happen because we're getting close. We're getting close. There's some that are in the community who know this truth, and Abba Yahuwah has put it on their heart just as much as he's put it on mine. Just like the Messiah says, he said when the disciples came and said, Master, there's people that are casting out demons in your name. He says, well, if they're not against us, they're for us. Let's make it that simple. If people are evoking the name of Yahuwah and Yahusha, even if we don't have all the teachings right, even though we don't all see eye to eye in every facet of every doctrine, are they evoking the name? Do they call upon the name? Do they put their trust in the name? Do they keep his commandments? Excuse me. Are they fellowshipping with the brethren? Because there's some people who are out there by themselves and they swear up and down they're their own echo chamber, and they're just, everything is in their head. They're right about everything. It's my way or the highway kind of thing. Don't deal with people like that. That'll mess you up. That'll mess you up so fast. Don't mess with people like that. Yahuwah is going to teach you. And he's going to bring you around other people. And Yahuwah is teaching them. And if we're hearing from his Ruach clearly, you're going to get confirmation to what you've been taught. If it's by the Ruach, you're going to hear it from somebody else, and they're going to have the same understanding as you do, and you're going to understand. So I was hearing from the Ruach. So don't think everything that you hear in your head is the truth. It needs to be backed up in the word. It needs to. That's how we gauge. That's how we measure what we understand, what we know to be true. Mm-hmm. When I was reading First Jubilees chapter 1, you see, excuse me, you see there when we was reading that, how Yahuwah took Masha, got a little piece in my wrong throat, took Masha and showed him what was going to happen to the people. Gave him a general summary of what's going to happen. I'm going to make this agreement with you guys. And I'm promising you to give you this land that I swore to your ancestors, but you guys are going to mess it up. You guys are going to forget my agreement. You're not going to keep my commandments. You're not going to remember to do this, to be faithful to me. And I'm going to let you go because you want to be just like the Gentiles. I'm going to scatter you amongst the Gentiles and see how that works out for you. And he did just that. And when he scattered our ancestors to the four winds of the earth, to these other cultures, to these other areas, not only did we look different, we carried ourselves different, and we stuck out like a sore thumb. And I would say for most of our lives, through our history, until recently, started in around the 60s, we were a very docile people. We were very family-oriented, if you will. Very, very low divorce rates. Practically all the children grew up and had homes of their own. They weren't rich, but they understood the pecking order in the house. But not today. It all started with the civil rights movement. That civil rights movement caused a civil curse, even deeper, on the African Americans, so they call them. They allowed us, Yahuwah allowed us, to be just like the Gentiles, even more so. And it became a trap for us. It became a snare for us. What we thought was to liberate us, the civil rights movement, it actually enslaved us to our transgressions. It allowed us to be lawless. It allowed us to do and be whatever we wanted. You know, the American dream. Now you try to tell these people who they are. Nope. They don't want to hear it. And it's sad. It's sad to see. But it's the reality. And again, all this must come to pass. All of it. But now we got children raising their own parents, telling the parents what they want. Kids going to tell the parents what they want to eat. Kids going to tell the parents what they want to watch. They put a hissy fit until they get what they want. And they walk out the house and they expect the world to do the same. And when the world don't give them what they want, they get angry. And they throw a big old adult-sized, grown-up hissy fit. And sometimes that hissy fit comes with a gun. But we living in them last days. We living in them last days. If you're not a follower, we ask that you do subscribe and that you would click the notification bell. Come on every weekend. And we just like to talk about the scriptures and current events and how we've been lied to. I hope that you guys will take this journey with us on this straight and narrow path that's going to lead to everlasting life. You know, this is one of the reasons why I said I don't know, and it's so early right now, but we're going to continue doing what we're doing as if tomorrow is going to be tomorrow. So all of our plans that we got right now, if it be Yahuwah's will, it shall come to pass. If not, Yahuwah knows what's best for us. And we're hoping that everyone is going to have their ticket punched to get into the kingdom. There might be some emergency lives that I might be doing here in the next couple of days because of what's going on in the Middle East right now. And we need it. Just please look into the truth. Look into the truth. Christianity is not the truth. If you keep looking into Christianity for the truth, you're going to find what you want to believe in. What you need to do is question Christianity. You need to question it. Because once you see what Christianity has taught you, coming straight out of the book, they changed it. Like I said, Satan takes the same scriptures and he twists them. So, yeah, you can read out of the King James Version all you want. It's not going to change you unless you apply what is in there. Other people apply it differently, like Satan. So if you're applying it with the wrong interpretation, you're in trouble. You've twisted the words, just like Satan. This is why the Messiah says that people don't understand his words. They don't understand his speech. They're quoting out of the Torah, but they misuse it to their own destruction. So please look into Christianity. Look into the image of the beast. You'll see that it is a picture of what you know as the cross, and also the figure that some of the denominations like Catholicism hangs on that cross. These are images. These are images of jealousy, as it says in Ezekiel. He doesn't like images. They provoke him to jealousy because he gave you an image. That image is himself. That's the only image that we will bow down to. That's the only image that we have been given that we are to worship. This is why he says you are not to make for yourself any image. And yet many people have made for themselves images. Even the Hebrew Israelites that made themselves a black Messiah. They've made an image. That in itself is just as wrong as the blonde hair, blue-eyed image. No different. An image is an image. And if you don't know what he looks like, you better stop making images of what he looks like or what you think he should look like. Because if he wanted us to know his image, he would have left us an imprint of his face somewhere, somehow. And we're not talking about the Shroud of Turin. They want us to believe that that's the Messiah who has European features when he came from 2 Hebrew parents, right? Ain't happening. It's not happening. Not happening. But they want you to believe that. Again, look into Christianity. I mean, we can just go down a list, but it's so many things that she has done that has veered us off the true path. They changed the Shabbat. They changed the Sabbath. They had changed the appointed times. They gave us their appointed times, their holidays. They changed the names. They're doing the same thing as the Jewish people, doing the ineffable doctrine, meaning that they don't want you to pronounce the name. So they hid the name by giving you substitutes like Lord and God. So they won't give you Yahuwah, not Yahweh. That is a substitute that the Jewish people gave you by using their Nakud vowel points, their Masoretic vowel points. They're telling you that the Tetragrammaton is to be pronounced Yahweh. But there is no other Hebrew word that you can find way from Yahweh. There's no word in Hebrew. But again, they're speaking to people and teaching people who they're ignorant of the Hebraic understanding. So they hear Yahweh and they say, oh, that's the name. No, the only part they got right was Yah. They forgot the U and the Ah. Yahu. Just like the Messiah came in Yahu Shah. The Father is Yahu. But they want you to believe it's Yahweh. So then that means the Son should be Yahweh Shah. But nobody calls him Yahweh Shah. But this is what they want us to believe, that is Yahweh. Again, these are the lies of the enemy. And just like Christianity, Judaism has a lot of lies in it. They plug in their Talmud, their Talmudic oral teachings of the rabbis. They teach that to their followers. Hence why they talk about all this stuff about they can have intimacy with a 9-year-old girl and it's okay, and sucking from the penile, it's just ridiculous. The stuff that they have in the Talmud is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I can't even mention it. It's so nasty. Even what they say about the Messiah and where he is in the deepest parts of the fire, and what they're saying is happening to him. Just total disrespect. So, again, let us stay strong. Let us stay vigilant. Let us keep ourselves on the straight and narrow. We will be going over to TikTok here. We're going to have open mic nights. We're going to talk about what Yahuwah has put on your hearts. And for those of you who wanted to share something today, this would be your opportunity. I'm trying to remember, someone said that they was going to share something tonight, and I can't recall who it was. I just get so much stuff. I get inundated with messages, and everything just seems to be a blur sometimes. No, won't be doing any music right now. With the stuff that's going on here on this earth right now, I can't, other than just a little praise and worship on my end. But of course, we'll do that on Shabbat tomorrow. But no, we're not going to have no Natsarim FM for a while. Not with the stuff that's going on. And I think a lot of you already know how to find music. I know we like to spend time together doing that. But these days is a little heavy, if you know what I mean. I hear you, JSL. Yep, it is. With all the stuff that's going on. Yes, Chanel. Aki Emmanuel. Shalom, Ma'at. Yeah, it's just other than, worshiping Abba Yahuwah, I can't find joy in this world. There's like no joy in this world. The only joy that I can find is in others like yourselves, the Mishpachah. I love you, YAH. You said, I know my father in JW asked me, I said to him, there are no vowels in Paleo Hebrew, and why you believe Yahuwah cannot be pronounced, or Jehovah is that one. I do not know what to talk to him. Well, I love you, YAH. Let your father know, who's a JW. First of all, the letter J. And I'm sure you probably told him this. There is no J in Hebrew. There was no J in Hebrew, or no letter J in English until 1520 something. So just for that fact alone, there's no way the Tetragrammaton could be pronounced J, J-E-H, J. 1524 to that. But I love you, YAH. Your father, the only way he's going to see it is if Yahuwah wants to open his eyes. It's a very difficult thing to have someone look into something and they don't really want to look into it. This happened to me with a sibling of mine. Got mad at me, and I understand, that people feel the way they feel about Jesus. They love the name Jesus. And I get it. I used to be Christian. I know exactly where they're coming from. I know why they feel that way. I know why they feel attacked when someone breaks up the name Jesus as not being the true name of the Messiah. Because if you think about it, it's like here that all this time, you built this relationship up with a name. And the name that you built up this relationship with, you come to find out it's not the true name. Oh, that wrecks your whole world. That wrecks up everything that you had, that you thought that you knew, that was that eternal salvation in that name. And when you destroyed that name that you thought you had eternal salvation in, that causes a problem. That causes a problem. So you just got to allow Abba Yahuwah to open up their eyes. And all we can do is just be patient. Try not to ride them too hard. It's very easy for any of us to do. A free thinker, I'm 100% with you on that. 100%. You know, sometimes my passion for the truth comes out and people think that I'm attacking them. I'm not attacking anyone personally. If I'm attacking someone personally, I'm going to say their name. And it's not to attack unless they're saying something that's contrary to the word. But you know, when you're sharing the word, it just comes out a certain way. And like I would say, I respect you as a person, but I don't have to respect your belief. Because sometimes the belief, you know, it's against Abba Yahuwah. So why would I respect something that Abba Yahuwah says we're not to even, you know, even have that word come out of our lips, let alone our mouth? So I do try to not be so hard at times, but sometimes it's needed. It's needed. And again, it's not to anyone in particular. It's just that when the word is what it is, sometimes Yahuwah just wants you to give it the way he puts it in your mouth. And it's not that you're coming at somebody. But as they would say, if the shoe fits, then you might as well wear it, because I must be talking about you. But I didn't know it was gonna hit you that way. It's hitting you that way because it's something in your heart that it's tugging on, and you got to work it out. You got to work it out. Okay. So we got 15 minutes before we go. Any questions on what we just spoke about? Or anything that needs a little clarification while we got these little bit of time before we go to TikTok? And again, I apologize for crunching in your ears. I'm crunching on these coconut cracker biscuits. Oh, and they're tasty. Very crunchy. D Dairy, what time do you start tomorrow? Tomorrow I start at 1 o'clock, Pacific Standard Time. Let's see. Michael 88, you say, how do I take part in the Sabbath? Please explain. Thanks. So Michael, we come together on Shabbat, which is going to be tomorrow. Before you question and try to figure out, like, well, how do you know tomorrow is the Sabbath? Yahuwah's calendar is detached from the Gregorian calendar. Once you understand his calendar and the counting method, you'll understand that it's not attached to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's attached to his first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, and then the Shabbat. And that Shabbat can be anywhere in the Gregorian calendar of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday on any given year. But for that whole year, it'll be on that date. So as we're coming to the end of the year, which starts in the spring at spring equinox, this whole past year, including tomorrow, we've been doing our Shabbats every Sunday. Come spring equinox, it's going to shift on the Gregorian calendar, but it doesn't shift on Yahuwah's calendar because we're keeping it the same. It'll fall on a Monday on the Gregorian calendar for the next 52 Shabbats, or 52 weeks. So, Cassell, you bring up what most of us thought, that it starts from Friday evening to Saturday evening. Well, that's another thing that we've been lied to about. If you go to my playlist here on YouTube, look up the one that says, "When does a day begin?" And that's going to help you out a lot about when a day begins. YAH trades is every so-called Sunday a Sabbath, only until the end of the year, which the new year begins on spring equinox. So we only have what is it, like 3 more Sabbaths of the year until we're into the new year. So this year I'm going to be, Yahuwah willing, I am going to have a location right outside the Vegas area. I live in the Vegas area, and I'm going to set up my sundial in a remote location, and from sunrise to sunset for the next 5 days, starting on, hold on, let me check. Let me see here. Give me a second. Starting on March 16th. March 16th, which would be a MON day. Sunrise to sunset on the 16th, sunrise to sunset on the 17th, sunrise to sunset 18th, sunrise sunset 19th, sunrise sunset 20th. March 20th is supposed to be the straight line shadow, what we know as the spring equinox. And then I'm going to do one more day, which would be the 21st. So that's 6 days that I will be making observations of the sundial to show others how you are to use the sun and how you are to observe, to mark out your day, to know when the beginning of the year is using the sun, the S-U-N. We've lost this this teaching, if you will, because of our modern society of having clocks and watches and everything else that's telling us time. But the ancients, in practically every society, they would use a sundial to figure out the time of the day. And the Hebrews were no different. They use sundials. And so the sundial, to be a priest before Abba Yahuwah, the Levitical priesthood, they had to be well versed knowing how to use a sundial, because it was given to them to know the appointed times of Yahuwah. And to know the appointed times of Yahuwah, you must know the calendar. And to know the true calendar, you must know the sundial. So all that being said, this is why I will be sharing about the sundial and how to use the sundial to read when the beginning of the year is, to read when your Sabbath is, because the sun, the S-U-N, literally tells you when the Sabbath is. It literally tells you that. The Gregorian calendar, the calendar that the Greco-Romans gave us, they just tell you Saturday is Sabbath, but they have no proof on showing you how Saturday is the Sabbath. Why? Because it's not connected to the sun. It doesn't have a place of connectivity to the sun, the orb in the sky, like we were told in Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, 15, and 16, that he gave us these two great orbs in the sky, and that these orbs in the sky would be for times and for seasons and for days and for years. Well, the days and years, they have detached their calendar from the orbs in the sky. They've connected their calendar to darkness. This is why their day begins at midnight. At the strike of midnight, the very next second is the next day, according to their calendar. The scripture doesn't say that. There are others who will tell you that the beginning of the year is in the dead of winter. That's their Gregorian calendar. Scripture doesn't say that. The cycle of the year and the cycle of a day have the same pattern. It has the same pattern. The day is a microcosm of a year time. So if you was to equate the beginning of a day with sunrise, that would be the same as spring. Everything is waking up. Everything's coming to life. The hottest part of the day would be summer. It would equate to summer. When the sun goes down, that would be fall. It would equate to fall. And then the darkness would be winter. And just before spring, when that sun is getting ready to come up, that's the coldest time of the year. That's the coldest time of the day. It's the same cycle. But we're not taught that. It's common sense. But they took us off of common sense and gave us their tradition of men. And that's why we're all confused. And so when people bring you the true calendar and tell you this is when a day starts and this is when everything starts, it's like, huh? But there's no but. There's no but. The heavens and the earth witness and tell you. It's our witness. He told us that. He will bring heaven and earth as a witness unto us to tell us the truth. It's right there. It's all in creation, but we don't want to accept it. Okay, let's see here. Yes, Bob, that's a great idea. Can we get shout outs? Where's everybody from? City and state or country? City and state, country, city and state or country. City or state or country. BKNY. Tennessee, Tennessee. Yes, beautiful. South Korea. 안녕하세요. Chinsu. I hope I said your name right, Chinsu. Yi Chinsu. Was that your name? I can't remember. Well, Jamaica. We got Brooklyn. Ji Sung. Gotcha. Lee Ji Sung. Okay, gotcha. All right. Wow. Got people all over the place. Hallelujah. Hua. Misty Todd, am I stopping in Tennessee on your way? I don't think so. I think we'll be, no, I know we won't be. because the way we're going is going to be going through Birmingham and Atlanta. So we're going to be skirting south of Tennessee. And that's if Yahuwah allows us to even make the trip. We'll see what happens. Only Yahuwah wills, and if he allows. Yes. Look at all these places, everybody from so many different places. So beautiful, so beautiful. Yes, one day we all gonna meet in his kingdom, Yahuwah willing. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Yes, we shall. Lagos, Nigeria. I have some Nigerian blood in me too. Yes, I do. Oh, real quick before I let you guys go, before we go to TikTok. So I had a phone call last week from a family member that I've never met. He found me on ancestry.com. Yes, I did my DNA. Wanted to know my background, wanted to know my what was in my blood. Anyhow, long story short, this cousin of mine, first cousins, he was named after my dad. He was named after my dad. So I was like, wow. And he never met my dad. I never met my dad. He never met his dad. He spoke to his dad. Um, his dad passed away as my dad passed away. But yeah, so it's just a barakah to meet someone who is first cousins, and he lives in Ohio right now. And maybe one day we'll get to see each other. But yeah, I just found that fascinating. We spoke a little bit about how we're all connected, and I gave him our aunt's phone number. So we have an auntie that's connected to both of our dads. So our auntie was our dad's sister to our dads. And yeah, so it's like I'm getting a little bit more pieces put into place. I find out that my dad was one of four brothers and had one niece, or they had one sister, my aunt, and she's the only one left. All four brothers have passed away. My dad was, he was one of two of a twin. His brother, I guess he passed away. My uncle passed away at birth. So his name was Larry. My dad's name is Terry. So my grandmother and grandfather called their twin Larry and Terry. But yeah, so I find that a barakah. I do. And that's how I found out that my dad's side is of the Bantu tribe. Um, that's traced all the way back to the transatlantic slave trade to Jamestown, Virginia. I guess he was on some kind of, which I haven't gone that far to look into it, but I guess on some type of boat registry. Not my dad, but our bloodline that came from West Africa. But yeah, I find out that we're from the tribe, from the Bantu tribe. So yeah, it is amazing. All of us have a story. It's amazing. We all have a story, Mishpaka. Well, all right. So we're getting ready to go ahead and shut this down. We're going to go and have our open mic nights on TikTok. And before I let you go, we are going to do the barakah, the Aaronic barakah. Let me bring that up. I'm going to read that out of the scriptures. We're going to go to Numbers chapter 6. And it reads, And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to Aaron and his sons, saying, This is how you barak the children of Yasharal. Say to them, Yahuwah barak you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. Yahuwah lift up his face upon you and give you shalom. Thus they shall put my name on the children of Yasharal, and I myself shall barak them. Hallelujah, Yahuwah Mishpachah. Yahuwah barak each and every one of you. See you on TikTok for those of you who want to share. My name is Jimmy, all known as Brother Jimmy, and we are ambassadors of YAH.
May Yahweh bless you and keep you. May he make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you shalom. Yahweh. So shall you put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. May Yahweh bless you and keep you. May he make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you shalom. Yahweh. So shall you put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. May Yahweh bless you and keep you. May he make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you shalom. Yahweh. So shall you put my name upon the children